G'day guys, kia ora. My name is Wildkard. Super Rugby semi-final, second game. Hurricanes hosting the Blues at the Tin Can. Yeah, I actually thought the Blues should have been closer than this. 57 points to 21. It was pretty one-sided, to be honest. There were some key battle areas. The Blues just got completely dominated. The breakdown, I don't even know what is going on there for the Blues. The amount of turnovers the Hurricanes just like at will taken from the Blues at the breakdown was like comical. Like it was pretty bad. I mean, the Blues did have a couple of injuries, both before the game and during the game as well. You know, they got Dalton Papali'i, Rampling, both loose forwards, gone for this game, but still just not able to secure in that breakdown consistently. And like towards the end of the game, there was a bit of like, giggling because Beauden Barrett was like cleaning people out, and boy, it was just like it was pretty bizarre how it just completely fell apart in that one crucial area for the Blues. And another area is the kicking game. My goodness, some of the box kicks from the Blues were just absolutely atrocious. Not just box kicks, but like in terms of just wanting to exit their own half. They either punting it down the field with absolutely no way to pressure it, or they put up this weird little box kick that doesn't go anywhere, and they still lose the contest. So like you're just in a position where, like the accuracy, the idea of some of the kicking is just not there. Just not there to really compete with the Hurricanes. Whereas on the Hurricane side, Jordie Barrett and Ruben Love controlled it much better than what the Blues were doing, especially with the intent, right? The intent with some of the kicks, whether it's like a little grabber behind or whether it's a little up and under, whatever. There's an intent, an area they wanted to attack, right? I'm doing this kick because I think, like a crossfield, one of the crossfield from Jordie Barrett, no penalty advantage because he spotted space. He spotted space out wide. He saw Kitty in a hollow out wide by himself, and he decided to roll the dice. There's an intent in what you're doing with your kicking. A lot of the Blues shit was just like, yeah, let's just punt it up and see what happens. Especially some of the box kicks. I just want to point out one thing when we're still talking about the box kick. We all know that number 9s like to just drag it out a little bit with getting the box kick out. But what Finlay Christie was doing was just like, first of all, let's have watched this and let's break it down. And second of all, I don't understand why he's even doing like what's the point of this, right? Like we just talk about the intent on the kicking, right? Your job is to make the right decision on your kicking, not to try to do little shenanigans and try to bait people with the box kicking with the ball. So let's have a look what he did here. And I was just like it just really like made me scratch my head a little bit here, right? So just mute the sound. Let's say Finlay Christie is going for the typical box kick. He's getting the ball back, which is fine. Just watch this. He fakes taking the ball out. Let's just watch. And he leaves the ball behind. You see that? He fakes taking the ball out. Two things. That's a knock on. Number one, he just literally dropped the ball in front of him. Number two, faking taking the ball out to try to bait the opposition into a penalty is in itself a penalty. So, which way you look at it, right? This is either a penalty against Christie or it's a knock on because he left the ball behind. Like, let's just watch that again. Let's watch his pocket, and then like, okay, and he gets it out. He punts it on the field like this. No pressure from his team. Like, he just punted out 10 to the 10-meter mark, and he's complaining about the distance. Mate, you shouldn't be complaining about the distance. You should be focusing on like what you're doing. You're like, what is going on here? Okay, watch this. Watch his fingers. He's got his finger on the ball. You can see the ball actually move when he leaves it behind. You see? He knocked it on. Knocked it on right there. And faked it. Like Ben O'Keefe just standing right there. Just like, yeah, whatever. And I swear to God, there's a lot of knock-ons and forward passes in this game. Just not looked at. But that's just one where I thought like, surely that's a knock-on. Surely you can't just fake taking the ball out to bait the opposition to the penalty. That's literally in the book. And then like, sometimes, backs do these little head wobbles. That's probably the worst one I've seen. Sometimes they do this head wobbling thing and referee's like, yeah, no, don't do it. That he literally faked taking the ball out. That is 100% a penalty. Not allowed. And again, right? Instead of focusing on the opportunity that's in front of you, right? And this is kind of like the little, a little incident that indicates that pretty much like a small, this shows the bigger problem with this Blues team. Essentially, players are not focusing on what's actually happening on the field. They're in their own heads doing little mind games or whatever. That's whatever's happening there, right? His job is to not just doing this little shenanigans to try to bait the prop to go offside. Which, by the way, the referee wouldn't call it if you do that. They know you baited them, right? They're not going to call it. All you're doing is just getting them to not able to challenge you. And then instead of focusing on, actually trying to find the spot, right, where you need to kick the ball, or actually get the ball out of position that you clearly wanted to not get to, and you didn't, which is why you were complaining. Instead of getting those little things right, he's focusing on something that is clearly actually illegal. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. So that's pretty terrible from the Blues. And also, you may argue that obviously the Blues also had two, there was two early injuries as well in their back line. You got Caleb Clark and AJ Lamb, both are like crucial, like absolute weapons for the Blues, taken off early for HRA. So that's just a bit of bad luck there as well. But yeah, you have to say what is going on here. And also, they have Beauden Barrett, a fullback. He's just returned from like a bit of an injury. Is that the case? I mean, if he's an injury issue that he wants to be on a fullback, why did he play the full 80 minutes? Right? So I don't understand why they don't have Beauden at 10. He's been playing 10 basically the whole season, and it's his preferred position. And they got him a fullback again, and it's just the whole kicking game, everything sort of just felt a little bit disconnected, and the intent is just not there. Intent is just not there. You lack somebody there to sort of like point, like, if Beauden's at 10, he could have made it clear to Christie, like, hey, instead of kicking it out, maybe we can kick it to the 40 line and we'll have someone can chase this, right? We've got somebody set up here to chase that. Instead, Christie just left by himself to play his own mind games, whatnot. And there's lacking of a more strategic, in my opinion, voice in the back line that can dictate where the game wants to go. And I think that's also probably one of the reasons why we saw this little, like, so many problems in the Blues back line in terms of attack as well. For the Hurricanes, absolutely ruthless. I think the most impressive half of the Hurricanes is the bench. They came online, like, we actually saw a couple of big names getting taken off early. Like, Ruben Love got taken off 50 minutes or something, and Cameron Roy got 60 minutes. So, these absolute huge playmakers was taken off early. And, I was wondering if the performance is going to fall off a little bit. Maybe allow the Blues to catch up. They did have a pretty commanding lead at that point. In fact, they only extended their lead, put the foot down, and actually sped up. You got Kid in a hollow, just bumping people out left and right. And just like the ruthless hunger from the players to come off the bench and really make an impact, just really, really impressive. And not just the skill set I saw that they brought off the bench was quite outstanding to finish the game. Really, really, really strong. And also you can see the Hurricanes was able to shuffle the backline around when changes were made. Jordie Barrett, despite being still playing at 12, he was more of a playmaker out of the 12. They had what's his name, coming off at 10 technically. Did they actually move Jordie Barrett to 10 after Ruben Love came off? And they moved Harkham. Did they move Harkham to 10? What was the setup there? I'm actually not 100% sure what the setup was. But Jordie Barrett looked like was a playmaker after Ruben Love came off. And, and again, just being able to adapt to that was really, really good there. The one thing I did notice is that Ruben Love looked a little bit, maybe the big occasions got him a little bit. The accuracy has definitely fallen off in this game compared to the previous, if I compare to the rest of the season, I would say. This was probably the lowest accuracy I've seen out of Ruben Love. Some of the passes did not go to hand, dropping the ball cold, something that I do. Just not, just basic stuff that's really gotten him to a little bit as well. And also goal kicking, missed a couple from basically like 100% coming into this, close to 100%. So yeah, that's something. Young guys always have this problem, big occasions, and this is the home game. They really shouldn't be that nervous, but maybe the nerves got him to a little bit. The prospect of carrying the team to a massive win is on his shoulders, and that pressure may have gotten to him a little bit. But then that's again, A good team is, when things happen, someone else is able to step out and fix it. Jordy Barrett stood up at 10, no problem. And the bench came off, no problem. Put the pressure on, and then the floodgate opened even more, right? For the Hurricanes, and it did not happen for the Blues. This was also the big return of a Tyrell Lomax. Pretty steady scrums. I do think that, again, the Lomax would have been like, if he wasn't injured, would have been like the starting 3 for the Hurricanes. Tight head for the Hurricanes for sure. But you have Tossi and Numia done just an absolute outstanding job this season, just stepping up their games. And I might think that they will be starting for the All Blacks. I would not be surprised if Tossi start at least, and then maybe have to Groot at 1. But Numia probably on the bench. They have been just absolute machines at the scrummaging, and especially like Tossi stepping up for Lomax, who would have been the start, just being outstanding, absolutely outstanding for the Hurricanes. Asafa Moa lineout was pretty good as well. Unlike the Blues lineout was pretty shaky all game there. Didn't really help. Just compounding the problems that the Blues were having for the entire game. So yeah, outside of that, it's another year that Mr. Beauden Barrett not able to win a Super Rugby. I don't think Beauden has ever won Super Rugby. The one time the Blues did win, he wasn't in the team. Did he win it with the Hurricanes? I don't know. I'm actually not 100% sure if he's won it ever. But yeah, it is. Let me know, because I'm not 100% sure. I know he didn't win it with when the Blues won because he was overseas. Or did that count? No, I don't think that counts. It was in Japan. So yeah, so it's another disappointing finish to Mr. Beauden. Anyway, let's have a look at the match stats of the game. 9 tries to 3, 624 run meters for the Hurricanes to 423 for the Blues. Defenders beating 35 for the Hurricanes, 17 for the Blues. 17 turnovers conceded for the Hurricanes, 22 for the Blues. 134 tackles made for the Hurricanes, 17 missed tackles. 160 tackles made for the Blues, 35 missed tackles there as well. The defense just completely not there either. 24 kicks in play for the Hurricanes, 20 for the Blues. And the big difference here is the kick meters and also just like the accuracy, what they want out of it as well. 6 out of 9 conversions. Jordy Barrett missed one, I think maybe deliberately at the end. Ruben Lovely's missed 2, which he probably should have been better than that. 611 kick meters for the Hurricanes, 374 kick meters for the Blues. Huge difference in terms of kick meters, despite the number of kicks are not that much of a difference. And I think that comes down to a lot of the stupid box kicks that really didn't achieve anything and didn't go anywhere other than just giving the ball straight back to the Hurricanes, which were just left people's head scratching, right? Like if you don't have the players like AJ Lamb or Caleb Clark to contest those box kicks anymore, should you even be doing those? All right, these are the difference between like a good team and a bad team, because a good team will be like, hey, we can't actually do these box kicks anymore because our wingers off, right? One of our wingers are off at least, and our center are off, and then maybe we have to switch into a different style of kicking, and having Beauden Barrett at fullback, he's not able to dictate those changes that are needed around those strategies. 9 lineouts for the Hurricanes, 3 loss. I'm surprised 3 loss. I thought it would be a bit less than that. 9 for the Blues, 2 loss there. 3 scrums of Hurricanes, no losses. 8 for the Blues, no losses there. But the Hurricanes did assert the dominance a couple of times, especially in the first half with Numia and Tossi. Yeah, it was pretty good. 6 penalties considered for the Hurricanes, only 8 against the Blues there as well. So yeah, let's have a look at the recap of the game. The first try was something that I have never, ever seen before in the history of rugby, and I think Dr. Rassi Rasmus might take this into his notebooks, right? This was okay. So 2 minutes in, there was like a up and under, and Beauden Barrett went to challenge the ball, and Wildkard was taken out in the air, and looked like this could have been a yellow card, but Ben O'Keefe was like, nah, just a fair challenge. And Wildkard was on the ground like, oh, I'm hurt. Oh. And then it was a dummy. It was a fake injury. He got up and he realized that he was on the ground. Like it did land pretty solidly. And then he kind of realized that Ben O'Keefe wasn't going to give the and he got up and he's like, oh, I'm still like, oh, what's going on? We're going to get a penalty. We're going to get a yellow card. There was a bit of a, like, everybody was discussing, like, everybody's talking to the referee, and the referee's like, nah. So, like, everybody was crowding around, and Roy got just, like, quick tap and started running. And then he ran, like, 60 meters as a result of this, and then quickly followed up through his teammates. Just, yeah, like, literally got right up the try line, and then the short pass, crash ball, and Jordy Barry scores. And then it was just like, I was laughing. I was like, dude, he was, that's a dummy injury. Like, it was pretty brilliant. Especially everybody's like, oh, maybe you should check the TMO, like pointing at screens. His own teammates are pointing at, potential TMO review. And then it's just like Roy Gut's like, all right, time to play. Everybody's distracted, and he sneaked it through. So that was really cool. I've never seen a dummy injury into a quick tap before. So that was pretty. Maybe I've seen it, but I can't remember. But that was pretty cool. So 7 minutes in the game, the Blues fights back. They have a penalty. They went for the line out. They crashed midfield, went back to the short side, and then Caleb Clark just crashed through. Got pretty close, and then the ball came back out of crash ball from Tuipulotu, went over for the Blues. At this point, the Blues actually look pretty good. Nice momentum, nice, post contact meters, and then just quick ball around the rocks, getting them the big boys through. 5 points to 7. 13 minutes in the game. The Hurricanes had a line out inside the Blues 22. They went for a more, and classic more try from Hurricanes. Karifi gets this one down. 12 points to 7. 26 minutes into the game, there was a Hurricanes line out, and it was missed. I do think the Hurricanes line out has been a bit of an issue, especially in the second half as well. So the line out was missed. So the ball was chipped over by Forbes from the Blues, and then the so there was a bunch of players. So Ruben Love, so the line out was missed, and then the ball went wide. Ruben Love looked like a little bit lost here. He looked like he wasn't sure what he's supposed to do. Is he supposed to, who is he supposed to be on? There was clear miscommunication. He's just like kind of in the middle of nowhere, and then the ball got chipped over his head, and then a scramble back. Forbes got the bounce, and then he linked up with his teammate that ran through for the Spencer, ran in for the try. At this point, literally, like, if you had your eyes on Ruben Love, he was literally like scrambling back, and they like bumped into Wildkard, and he was just fumbling around, and just really wasn't contributing to any of the defense. In fact, creating some problems to the defensive structure there. I don't know what's going on here. Again, maybe the nerve it's got him a little bit. 12 points to 14. The Blues take 2 points ahead. 30 minutes in the game, like we saw there, Finlay Christie's exit was horrendous. Hurricanes just came right back into the 22. After that, we just saw the little box kick that went nowhere. The Hurricanes start building pressure midfield, and then Numia, he picked up and saw like Darryl, big boy, right in front of him, and another guy that's like pillar and post. He just ran straight at the two of them and bumped them both over, and then went over for a try, winning for a try. Absolutely monster collision there. 19 points to 14. The Hurricanes pull themselves back, and that's at halftime. So second half, right from the kickoff, it looked like there was a bunch of knock-ons and forward passes not looked at. But anyway, 42 minutes in the game, there was a little kick behind into the 22 from Ruben Love. Fihi Fainga and Norfolk gets the pick up. Got really close. The bunch of people, there was not the pick up, gets the turnover. So there was a little grabber behind from Ruben Love. Fihi followed up through it to get a quick clean out, turnover, and then Roy got scooped it up and ran through for the try. 24 points to 14. 47 minutes in, there was a scrum for the Hurricanes. The ball went out, just came out clean in the middle, and then quick ball out wide to Morby, went over another try. 31 points to 14. 51 minutes in the game, there was a counter ruck. Again, the ball came out to Jordy Barrett. He sees the space out wide, crossfield kick to Kinin Aholo. He got the ball almost out, pops the ball back in field to Almoa, ran down the sideline, bumps over Perifetta, went straight through for the try. 38 points to 40. Just another monster collision there. 63 minutes in the game. Warner Durns could have scored. Again, I think it was a turnover, and then the ball went out wide to Dern. He ran like a nice little line. He got literally tackled before the try line, and he probably thought he wasn't going to get over. So he turned around to try to pop the ball back to his teammates, but he was literally still like sliding on the ground, and he like seriously, he basically got right up to the try line. Like his backside was against the try line when he popped the ball, and if he had just not popped, turn around and literally put the ball down right next to him, would have been a try. But he popped the ball back. It doesn't matter. The Hurricanes followed through. A few more pick and goes and crash ball, and then the pick and go by the reserve halfback Inari, who went over for the try. 45 points to the 14. 71 minutes. Again, the Hurricanes was 50 something meter out. The ball went wide to Naholo. He bumps over Steven Perifetta, just ran straight down the sideline, and then unstoppable Fijian try into the corner. 52 points to 14. 75 minutes in the game, there was Hurricane lineouts being overthrown inside their own half, and it was kicked through by Odin Ryan, the reserve hooker from the Blues. He must be off the field not that long. He's fresh as daisies. Just sprinted down the field, and he beat like all the Hurricanes back line. He was faster than everyone, and then got through to scoop up the ball for the try. 52 points to 21, and finally 78 minutes. There was a missed pass for the Blues inside their own half. 22, in fact, the ball was scooped up, but the Hurricanes quickly just like literally they just immediately flooded the backline. Just like they didn't even go to a single breakdown. They get the ball up, and suddenly the whole team is set. Like the backline is quickly switching from defense to offense, and then just good hands to Morby into the corner for the try. 57 points to 21, the final score, and a brutal finish for the Blues. And let me know your thoughts about this performance from the Hurricanes. And are you disappointed that Mr. Beauden Barrett not able to win another year in Super Rugby? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Cheers.